Hi everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Inspirecast. I'm your host Rosara Dayaratne. So for today's episode, we have someone who strongly believes in the motto that the attitude matters the most. Please welcome a proud alumni of University of Colombo School of Computing, Chamith Wijesundara.
Hi. Hello.
So we would like to warmly welcome you to Inspirecast. So first of all, let me give you a very brief introduction about Chamith Ayya. Chamith Ayya is a senior software architect with over 14 years of experience in software development, designing and architecture. His knowledge spans over many domains such as cloud transformation analysis, Java programming to cutting-edge frameworks such as microservices, Spring, Spring Boot, Hibernate and Struts. And in addition to that, he has a greater understanding of DevOps and he continues to thrive by staying up to date with the latest trends. And I believe that it is a must for me to mention that he is also a table tennis player. So as you can see, he's one of the best people to give you guidance. So moving on to the questions. Could you please tell us how the journey from being a student at UCSC to being a software architect?
First of all, thanks again for UCSC as well, and you all inviting me. So it's kind of quite a interesting journey, right? So I joined after my A-levels. I joined the UCSC around 2007. I think it's 5th batch, as I remember, right? So it's like I completed 3-year computer science degree and then joined with a company called Reservations Gateway, right? So that was my first industry exposure, right? It's kind of I truly have that gratitude to UCSC, right? Because that's a place that I groomed. I mean, as a academically and professionally, right? So that's the key turnover for me. I mean, when it's come to A-levels, after completing my A-levels, that I had that interest to go for a software field, right? Software professional, right? So that is so I did lots of things, not only the as you mentioned, right? So I played table tennis at in university as well. Some of the tournaments I participated. So that is more of that.
So what are some of the key experiences and decisions that you were influenced to become a software architect?
So one thing I would say, if you correlate with UCSC curriculum and so how I become you can say software architect or kind of a software professional, right? So one of the things is that the subjects, right? Example, distributed systems, right? Concurrent programming, those kind of subjects, it's kind of the things that I need to practically do, right? So that's that kind of a motivation I got from the uni and the especially from the the lectures and all, right? So that's that's I still remember that because that I needed to do some job with those aspects, right? So that is one of the things that I would say, right? So why I choose this stream and as an engineering person, as a programmer, as an architect, right? So those are the facts, because that coming to the before the uni time, there's no much understanding and no much exposure to those things, right? After coming here, doing the stuff and understand the concepts, right? Based on that, I narrate my career to that path, right? For being a software architect, right?
So were there any specific courses or training programs that you followed?
It's like this, right? Because I believe we can do the courses, right? When it's come to if you are mastering some language or kind of a stream, let's say there are different streams and different technical tracks and all, right? We can do, if from my side, so I was kind of a Java person, right? Because that it's not like I choose Java because that I had that interest somehow to do Java, right? So because of that I did some professional certification, like at that time it's Sun certified Java programmers, and now it's I think OCJPM, something like that, right? So those kind of stuff I did parallel to my degree. But I believe putting the focus to the degree concepts, I mean concepts in your degree or the curriculum is the key fact, right? Because either you are an architect or an engineer, senior engineer, the main thing is you should focus on your curriculum in the degree, right? So that is what I believe, right? The same way I did anyways I did some certifications and some kind of extra courses and all, right? So that is one thing to highlight. Yeah.
So do you believe that apart from focusing on the academics,
no,
that we have to do anything extra?
No, I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because what I did that is because before I come to the uni, I saw some cutouts and all for these courses, right? It is kind of some marketing strategies, yes, right? Back in 2006-7, right? So those times that even I'm from Kurunegala, right? So there is no much exposure to this, So we believe that I personally believe that doing some courses and all, yes, actually it's beneficial, right? But I don't think it is kind of a the fact that we need to become a true professional, right? It is the basement should anyway be the degree, right? Because all the fundamentals, the conceptual knowledge, all the things are wrapped inside the degree, right? So I believe if you're any person learning in the uni, what I say is the first thing is you have to focus on the degree, whatever the subjects, whatever the concepts, because those are the fundamentals, right? Even you are going for even the architect positions and whatever the positions that you are in, those fundamentals, those basics matters, right? So that is what I believe. But yes, additionally that you can focus on some specialized streams, right? If let's say if you decide that you like to go with cloud transformation, cloud technologies and all, you can master some course, right? That's fine, right? But the fundamentals matters, right? So I mean in the industry, what we truly see from a candidate, because that I did lots of interviews, right, in my career, right? So what we expect from a fresher is the problem solving skills, analytical skills, not a specific knowledge in a tech stack or a language as a fresher, right? So that's what those fundamentals are coming from the the basic understandings or the whatever things that we are learning in the degree, right? So that's what I believe. I mean, if you have spare time, yes. I mean, that means you need to have GPA more than 4. Mm-hmm. That means you have time, right? Yeah. So then you can do. But if you are having 2 point something, some GPA and going to do the other external things, I don't believe that, because if you focus on the degree, so that's the first thing, right? Yeah. I
understand. So what does a typical day or a week look like for a software architect?
Yeah, so it's depend on what you are doing, what's your domain and what's your tech stack. But personally myself, right, so I'm actually as an architect, I'm doing coding as well, right? I'm working in Infor, right, Infor Nexus, because that we have that culture in our company that everyone should code, right? So that's we have to have the hands-on, right? So that is good, right? So one side I'm coding and the other side that I have a team, right? I need to review, do the reviews and architectural solution designs, right? So I need to have some discussions with the client representatives, the product owners, right? So those kind of aspects, right? So and then we need to finalize the designs and and task breakdowns and kind of quite a bit of management side as well to track the progress on the things, and because that we need to deliver at the end of the day, right? So those kind of aspects that I'm working, and especially I like to do the coding and I need to be in hands-on, right? So that is one aspect that one of the interested areas for me, right? And the other things, I mean, if you get a week, right? So because I'm playing as well, because the things that we are doing in front of a monitor, right? So kind of there's a stress involved as well, right? To do, I mean, to overcome those things. Like I'm playing table tennis, because that we have table tennis table is there in there as well, right? So those kind of stuff I'm doing additional to my day-to-day work as an architect. Yeah, so those are the things mainly. Yeah.
So what do you find the most rewarding about being a software architect?
Yeah, so one thing is not particularly for an architect, right? Let's say throughout my my career, right? So one thing I realize is that we can we can try out our thought process, or how we are going to approach a solution, right? So let's say if there are if there's a problem or kind of a trivial issue that no one can solve, right? So then let's say if I can solve that, right? So you have that once you resolve that, right? So it's kind of it's very nice, right? So everyone is comes and say, even not only for the work, right? So even for the day-to-day life, right? So if you find a solution for someone, so that the things that coming from the other party, right? It's I believe it's a reward, right? I mean, because that's the motivation that we get, right? Anyone gets to do the work precisely, and the future works, the planning and all. If you have more motivations, right? So then you can go for bigger things, right? So that's what I believe. I mean, it's kind of a chain, I believe, right? So if you do something better, you got motivated, you got the recognition, you got the reward, so then you can go to the next one, right? So something like that. So that's what I believe, apart from the the medals or those kind of things, right? This is matters. This is the matter. I mean, the most important thing is that, I believe.
So are there any specific challenges that you have to face on daily basis, or maybe based on a project?
Yes, there are challenges, yes, obviously, because when it's come to the requirements and how we approach that, the pressure comes from the clients and the customers, right? So those kind of things are there, because when it's come to the corporate culture, that we need to adapt to the client's changes, not specifically for a company, I would say, right? So normally in my career, so challenges like, so we need to deliver the things on time, right? So those kind of stuff, and so those actually we can say challenges, but obviously that's in our job, right? So I believe, I mean, when it's come to the challenges, so we have to have that ability to approach those things, right? So anyways, every day is a challenge, I would say, right? Every day we have different set of challenges, right? So we have, if we have, I mean, to deliver in this time, and the team is having things and all, right? So that kind of aspect. But yeah, so more than technically, I mean, I would say in the management side, so that we may have the challenges in my role and all. So yeah, so that's about it. Yeah. So
say that there's a student who's aspiring to be, who's very passionate about being a software architect.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions as to what sort of skills they must require?
Yes. So yeah, it's like this, right? So there are two things, right? I mean, mainly two things. Let's say capabilities versus knowledge, right? So those two facts actually we need to clearly identify and understand, right? Capabilities is something like who you are, right? Knowledge you can gain anytime, right? So being true software or whatever the profession, let's say if we get an architect, right? So it's kind of lots of knowledge and lots of capability should be there when it's come to design something, right? Design something means it's not there now, you have to build that, right? Engineering means some aspect is there, some specification is there. By looking at that, you have to build something, right? Do different things, right? So what I believe is knowledge. Yes, you need to have the knowledge. You are an engineer, senior engineer, let's say technical lead, right? So you need to have that knowledge. You have to groom your knowledge. But when it's come to the designing part, right? So designing means you have to innovate something. You have to design newly, right? So that's we call as architect, right? I mean, even for building constructions as well, we have architects, right? So that means it's not there, you are designing that. Engineers are, doing the stuff, right? So it's not like two different streams. Obviously it's going together, but I would say your skills on problem solving, right? How you see a problem in your out of the box thinking, right? Those kind of stuff you need to have, right? Obviously you need to have the knowledge, right? You need to gain the knowledge. So that's why we have this number of experience. I mean, you have to get some experience to come there, right? Plus you need to have that, you need to build that confident that you can approach some question or problem or solution giving some appropriate answer, something like that. So that kind of step by step you need to come there, right? Yeah.
So any specific advice for students who are currently studying in University of Colombo School of Computing?
Yes. Yeah. So one thing that I need to highlight, because I'm telling this in most of my sessions, right? So because I'm doing not only UCSC, I'm doing some sessions from other universities as well. The first thing, this is what most of the time the problem comes, right? You need to understand your drive, right? What's your drive, right? Either you came to this uni and you are doing your degree, right? So there is some reason behind that, right? Obviously, right? So maybe because of the list of the degrees that you have in your, there's a book, right? That book after, because of that you came here, right? But still, right? That's fine, right? But still you need to understand your drive, right? Drive means, let's say you are an artistic person. You can draw the, right? So once you have the spirit and all, right? So then who are the people who can draw, right? So that means that person is having that interest and the drive to do that, right? Maybe he or she don't like to go and do these logics and all. It's matters, right? What I believe is that even in the software industry we have streams like, let's say, user experience, we call as UX, right? User interface design, UI, right? So those kind of people, they can go for those things. So then if you are, I mean, at the end of the day you are passing out as a software professional, right? You need to do a daily job, right? If that job is an interesting one for you, so then you can go to the top, right? So that's what I believe, right? Likewise, if let's say you are a person, you need to understand that every individual need to understand that what's the drive within you, what should you, I mean, what can you do more, I mean, the more precisely, right? So then let's say you are a person that who can quickly solve some IQ question, right? So that means you obviously go for kind of heavy coding, the logics and all, right? So that's the aspect, right? Even, I mean, let's say if you are a person that you can present precisely, right? So then you can go for, there are lots of other roles, right? So that business analyst and client representative, there are lots, right? No need to stick into the the engineering aspects, right? So that the industry is very wide, right? So you can choose any stream. Matters is you have to choose your the drive. Yeah.
So it is a very obvious fact that the industry is always evolving.
Yeah.
So how do you stay up to date? Are there any specific resources or communities that you follow?
Yes, so that's also a good question. So what I'm telling is, right, what I do, right? So because let's say you have some colleagues, some friends working in different companies, right? So let's say someone is working here and there are different companies have different domains plus different tech stacks, right? And even some of very up-to-date ones, I mean, let's say this generative AIs and MLs, those kind of stuff are there, and some of our cloud technologies and all, right? So have some small community, right, around those people who are in different companies, right? Just have some chats, right? Because obviously, yes, we have the groups in communities in LinkedIn and Facebook and all the social media. Apart from that, physical meetups, just have a chat. What you are doing? I mean, once you go to as a fresher, once you go to a company, right? Have some sort of even your UCC friends as well. Have some healthy discussions. What you are doing, right? And then get those things and high levelly go through those aspects, right? And let's say we know in the news and even LinkedIn, right? So in LinkedIn there are lots of good pages and communities updating their the knowledge and all. Just keep an eye on that, right? And then if you have some interest on some area, just go and read up to some extent and keep that knowledge. I mean, not fully going for a course and all, but you have to keep that up to date understanding, right? So that is what I believe, because it is practical, right? Once you meet a friend, you discuss those things, right? What you are doing and what are the streams and all, right? So that's what I did, right? It's my personal, because that, let's say if I say to you these are the pages and you go, and no one will go, right? No one will, that's us, right? What I'm telling is just have some healthy discussions. Even you are still in the university, just have some chats with the industry people, right? Ask them what are the trending things, and then you can get some high level understanding on that. But still I'm telling, don't go in depth, just do the degree. That's the first thing, right? You can have some understanding what's going on, right? So that's what I think. Yeah.
So now that we came to the topic of like fast evolving technologies, there are many that come out every single day.
Yeah.
So what do you think as a software architect, how will it impact the job role?
Yes, so that is one of the crucial things that even we are also discussing in the industry, right? So if you see lots of technical giants like Google and other open source tracks, and they are coming with AI tools, right? Especially these generative AI tools, right? So industry is evolving, technology is evolving, right? So one of the things that we saw, I mean, because of this artificial intelligence stuff, some of the jobs are kind of in a risk, I would say, right? So because of that, we need to see what are the things that we can survive in the industry, right? So especially the innovative stuff, right? So we need to learn those things, right? So that's what I say, that we need to be in up to date, right? So let's say if we are doing the same thing over and over again, that we know after 10 years those things will go away, but we need to be in touch of the new stuff, and we need to adapt to those things, right? Because anyway we know, let's say if you got the big data, cloud technologies, or any these bitcoins and all those these things and all, so just have the idea what's behind that. So my idea is, most of the time in future everything should be automated, right? I mean, we can replace the manpower with machines, right? We have to prepare for that, because as a community, the software community or IT community, our jobs will be in a risk. So that's obvious, anyway it's there, right? So we have to have that understanding in our mind. We have to narrate our path, our learnings towards that, right? So that is one idea in my head. Yeah.
Okay, so now we come towards the very final question, and could you tell us of an experience or a memorable incident that has happened to you in Colombo University?
So I think there are lots of things. Even there are some things that I can tell in here as well, because I believe that one thing that I remember, right? So this is not related to academic or professional career, right? So one thing is that, I don't know whether you have this, there's a fun time once you come as a fresher to the uni, right? 1 or 2 months of periods, we call that as a rag. It's not kind of a rag, right? So the UCSC is not kind of
we go by the fact that we are anti-ragging faculty.
Yes, but yes, anti-ragging faculty, but the thing is that there's kind of fun time, right? So at that time there's kind of quite a bit of fun activities that we had. I don't think that now it's there. It's not there, right? Because that it's not rag, I would say, right? Because we have to sing a song, right? We have to keep in the same chair, sit on the same chair, something like that. One thing that I realized, that the seniors, that they came and say that you have to sing a song in the next day, because I can't sing. I know I can't sing, right? So then I practiced a song at my boarding place. So that's in Maradana, right? So one of my friends, and so it's like so even I didn't, I mean, I'm not as even I can't say a melody as well, right? So then I practice this one, and then I sang in the audience, so everyone is laughing at me, right? So that is one of the funniest things that I still remember. I still remember the song as well, right? So it's Valati Rengeha, this Dayaratne song, right? So yeah, so that is funny. So there are lots of other things as well, yeah.
So it will always be with you.
Yes, it is always with me, right? So that's kind of quite a incident, yeah.
So with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. Thank you, Chamith.